Yes, he is absolutely right that when the Public Works Department was actually reformed, and was going to be reformed, the works had already been done prior to 2007. Unlike FRA, the transition from DNR to FRA, there's a lot cleaner way of doing it. And there's a lot of legacy issues where, in fact, that spilled over into the new organization, which is WEF. And therefore, this issue about having a very large and overburdensome bureaucracy that was actually inherited through Water and Sewage Department to WEF. And those issues did actually continue. And I'd like to re-echo the sentiments of the Honourable Minister for Infrastructure that the current CEO, in fact, personally also has inspired the utmost confidence because he has probably been someone who in a very quick span of time has identified some of the structural issues that need to be addressed within the Water Authority of Fiji. I mean, we had people holding regional manager jobs and other senior positions without even an engineering degree, engineering certification. People holding senior positions that required them to have specific skill sets. Electrical engineers, people who are supposedly in charge of electrical works with WEF because they have a lot of generators, do not even have basic certification in those areas. And they were made, they're given managerial positions. So now a lot of these positions actually have been advertised. Minimum qualification requirements have been put in. And in fact, we have seen now some very good young, bright people come up the ranks. And in fact, some of them are studying at the University of South Pacific, doing their degrees, whilst they're also working with Water Authority of Fiji. So this new CEO is actually investing in the staff and the right staff. And I think that's critically important. The issue regarding the project workers, I mean, there's this sort of situation we had in many government ministries and departments where people who are supposed to be employed for project basis continue to sort of work for decades. And it would appear that the projects never ended. Now there's a lot more rationality to that in the sense that we're having the right people. A lot more outsourcing needs to be done, which will mean that there's a lot more funding available for the private sector, which means that a lot more employment will be created. Because when you actually have people working within this civil service or those kind of departments, there's no incentive for them to actually complete the project. This is why year in, year out, we see a lot of projects sort of go in from one year to the other financial year, into the other financial year, because there's no incentive for them to finish it. When you actually have it outsourced and people have a contract, they know they'll get paid for it, and then they move along to the next project. So I think what the new CEO is actually doing, and working with the current board, which we really thank them for the insight too in the period of hand-holding, we know that a number of matters are also before FICAC in respect of some of the corruption, outright corruption that took place, whether it was procurement, whether it was all sorts of other things like, for example, managers closing valves so then they could get the trucking companies to come out and deliver water, and there's somebody who's getting a cut from it, or sometimes just workers shutting off the valve so they can work overtime to get some more money. So we need to employ the right people with the right salaries so they don't go off and engage in those kind of shenanigans. So Mr. Speaker said there's a cultural change taking place. Honourable Tikundundu has highlighted some of these issues. Of course, they are being addressed. And I think with this new CEO, who actually is very good, we've also seen from a Ministry of Economy perspective, we're now getting a lot more realistic budget submissions being given to us. There's no sort of overzealousness in saying we can do this project, this project, this project, when they actually don't have the capacity to do that. So we now are working with a team of people, Water Authority of Fiji, that actually are giving us correct information and are able to make that decisions on projects based on the capacity within the organization and also outside in the private sector to ensure that we don't go out and just get all this money for budget but actually aren't able to deliver. So yes, as has been highlighted, this report obviously goes back about 4 or 5 years now, and we'll find that in the next report in respect of this past year or so, that a lot of significant changes actually have been made for the better. Thank you.
I thank the Honourable Attorney General. I now call on the Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Natural Resources, the Honourable Sanjay Kirpal, will speak a right of reply. You have the floor, sir.
Honourable Speaker, I have no further comments to make. Thank you.
Honourable members, Parliament will now vote to note the content of the report. Does any member oppose? As no member opposes, the motion is agreed to unanimously. Secretary General.
Motion by the Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Social Affairs.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Social Affairs, the Honourable Viam Pillay, to move his motion. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker Sir. Honourable Speaker Sir, I move that Parliament debates the report on annual review of Fiji Association of Sports and National Olympic Committee 2017, which was tabled on 1st April 2019. Thank you, Honourable Speaker Sir.
Is there a seconder?
Honourable Speaker, sir, I second the motion.
I now invite the Chairperson of the Standing Committee on Social Affairs, the Honourable Viam Pillay, to speak on the motion. You have the floor, sir.
Honourable Speaker Sir, the Fiji Association of Sports and National Olympic Committee, FASNOC, was established in 1949 and achieved International Olympic Committee recognition in 1955. Apart from being responsible for entering Fiji representatives into the Olympic Games, FASNOC is the organization responsible for the coordination and management of Fiji teams to the Pacific Mini Games, Pacific Games, and the Commonwealth Games. It also has a major role to play in directing technical assistance fundings to its affiliates in the areas of coaching, athlete development, sports medicine, and sports administration. The agency managed to achieve its objectives in the year 2017. Some major achievements are the implementation of its Resurgence Agenda 2017, focusing on capacity building programs for the national federations, delivered 12 Oceania sports program courses and workshop on sports administration, particularly on the review of constitution and strategic planning, development, coaches, and strength and conditioning and team managers. As a Commonwealth Games Association, FASNOC hosted the Queen's Baton Relay on November 2017. FASNOC worked in collaboration with Fiji National Sports Commission and Fiji Sports Council in celebrating sports excellence through the Fiji Sports Award by recognizing sportsmen, sportswomen, young and upcoming athletes, administrators, technical officials, coaches, and those behind the scenes. We commend the tireless work of FASNOC in inspiring the people of Fiji through sports excellence by developing, protecting, and promoting sports participation and excellence. Thank you, Honourable Speaker Sir.
I thank the Honourable Mover of the motion. The floor is now open for debate. You have the floor, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to